Well, before I got into this business, I used to think, well, a $50,000 grant was almost impossible for the average person to get. But now, after 50 years of doing this, man, that's really very practical. Because there's so many programs out there for 5,000, couple thousand, 10 at the most, 25 if you're, looking hard. But now, $50,000, man, maybe that's inflation or something, but it's there. Now, I put a list. $50,000 grants that are in most every community, but see, it's different in every community. I can't give you 10 places that every place in the country you could apply for. No, you have to find locally where these ports are. Now, some of them are national, and you don't have to apply nationally. But in this 10, I show you where to go locally to find grants like the one I'm talking about here in that list. And the list will be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So it's all there. I'm not. There's no secret to anything like this. So 50,000 grants that aren't rare. That's right. You're just not looking in the right places. Okay, here's one here. The best sources for 50,000 grants for local nonprofits. That's right. So like in Massachusetts, they're giving $67 million to nonprofit organizations to give up the $50,000, to people who want to start a business. Okay. Now, how do you find these where you are? Okay, I have the link here because I show you how to go to AI and find all those kind of organizations in your zip code, and that could be 40, 50 or more. And so download that link and you'll find out how to find those things. Now here's 50 restaurants. Now this is a special program. 50 restaurants will get $50,000 each, and the deadline, whoops, is May 30th. That was yesterday when I'm doing this. So that's over, but there's things like that. So that's another example of the kinds of programs that businesses have from nonprofit organizations that give it. So you use that same link, that tiny URL. Now, how about $50,000 to pay a hospital bill? Yes, that's very possible. And there's one video, or actually one website to find out about that. If you get a hospital bill, see, hospitals, what they're doing is they're charging you for money that they shouldn't, because there are certain laws that they have to give it to you for free of certain incomes, and the income isn't destitute. It could be up to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, again, depending on where you live. But here's the link to find out if you're eligible for that discount. So even if you're sitting on a bill now and they haven't paid yet, you go to $DOLLARFOR.org. Okay, that's where you go, and you see if you're eligible for that. Okay, here's 100 training programs that pay up to $50,000 a year to get a $100,000 a year job. Now, these are mostly, blue collar, but they have white collar programs too, that they pay you to learn. So they're not like going to college where you pay them to get skills to get a job. That's not working too well anymore. That's why now the government has programs where they pay you, and up to $50,000 a year to get a skill. May take you a few years, but you got a nice living wage, to get a $100,000 a year job. And that's what is really the hot thing. And also, a lot of these programs, they could be even for teachers or for chefs and all kinds of things. But the neat ones, I think, are for blue collar jobs, where you can make in a blue collar job, you can make $90,000 to $100,000 a year, and AI will never take over your job. So I show you all the possible places to get there, and I show you how there's training programs like this where I live in D.C. There's 339 training programs, free training programs, and a lot of them pay you money while you're trained. So that's where you can make $50,000 a year being trained. Okay, how about for artists? Yes, every state has programs that give arts, grants to artists and arts organization. That could be up to $50,000. And the link I have here is to find out where your arts organization is in your state. And they're not the only people. But if you go to your arts organization, they'll be able to tell you about other grants for artists. You could be a tap dancer, a painter, anything, a craft maker, anything like that. That's art. Sculpture. Cities offer $50,000 for you to move to their city. That's right, $50,000 they will give people. And there's a website, and I have it down here. It's called makemymove.com. They're the cities that will pay you to move there. And some of them go up to $50,000. It's incredible. Yeah. And actually, people make money because they're trying to get people to move to their city, create income. So if they give you $10,000 to $50,000, you're going to create money for the city. So that's wanting to move. You're looking for the move? This is where you look. Makemymove.com. How about $50,000 to start a food truck? To take a takeout business or a beauty salon. I have a food truck here, TRUCK. That's what it is. Okay. Again, it's that website I have here, how to find the nonprofit organizations where you live that give out money like that. But actually, this is in the state of Maryland does that. So they give out grants like that. $50,000 from the state of Maryland. Find that. So you want to find out all those organizations in your state that do that. And I show you the link of how to do that. How about $50,000 for a down payment to buy a house? And this is for incomes up to $150,000. Everybody thinks, oh, all grants for poor people. Or I make too much money to get a grant. Nonsense. These are grants that are given out for incomes up to $150,000. You're that $150,000. You're getting a $50,000 grant. How much better can life be? That's what, whatever you think you know about grants is wrong. But it's right, maybe somewhere for one grant. But to me, there's 600,000 to 800,000 grants in the country. So you may be right about you need to have a certain income. That's just for one of the 800,000 grants. So you have to keep looking, and that's what it is. Here, how about $50,000 if you're a victim of crime? That's right. Crime victims, even for sexual harassment or anything, a hit and run, an arson, a burglary, a homicide, a kidnapping, a manslaughter, robbery, DWI crashes, elder abuse, family violence, harassment, terrorist threat, right? All that. The government gives you money if you were a victim of that, a victim of crime grant. Wow. Who would have thought? Okay, how do you find them? I tell you there. You go to findhelp.org and you search there for you. Or how about home repair? Man, there's so much home repair money because we have an old home stock and people are aging and they bought the house long ago. They can't afford to move and the house falling apart or whatever. So that's why most organizations, there's probably 100 programs, 40 at least, 30 for sure, to 100 programs in your state, in your city, that help you with grants to help you fix up a house. And I have a sample there, and you can see a video of a couple that were able to get this money and how it is. But see, the application is nothing. You don't have to worry about applications. You have to worry about finding the right grant to apply to. That's where it is. So you don't have to hire a grant writer. You have to learn the system. Because you can't go to Google. Google only is good for people who have money to buy their way out of it. Because everybody in Google wants to get money from you because they have to pay Google. The websites I show you, they pay you. They give you money. Every website we give you. And if you need help more than the websites I've given you here, it's at letsgohelp.com. And letsgohelp.com, what we do is we have 15,000 members. And this is a community of people who've learned how to get grants, and they help each other learn, the technique and skills and how they did it. And every day we have 3, 4, 5 hours of people that are live on video to answer your questions about how to get money because they tell you how they got it. Now, that's better than talking to some clown like me, isn't it? But plus, if you remember, and it's only $20 a month, that's all we charge. And it's unlimited one-on-one help from all the members to apply to every program. That's 15,000 people. That's a lot of help there in one bucket for $20. And we also give out our own grants. Every month we give out over $50,000 to $70,000 every month to members, okay? And just to members. So if you're a member, you could apply to that, and you could win 4. We have 4 different grants. One you could spend on anything. Another is just for home repair. Another is for car repair. No, that's for rent, not home repair. It's for rent. And rent automobile repair, and also free laptop computers. We give out like 10 free laptop computers every month. So let us help you too. That's letsgohelp.com. I got 10 more years to do this. Please let me help you.